to start with. Here's the question. What is a lock?
A lock is a large concrete container that basically allows water to flow from one side to the other where there's two things that are at different levels. So let's say you have a lake at one level and you have a river at another level. The lock allows water in to go up to that level to allow a boat to come in on the lake and then go down to the river. Or it could be the same in a river or up to a river, yeah. So we have locks that took us up, but we have locks that took us down. Most of them were going down, though, to Mobile.
So what do you do, or how do you prepare for entering a lock?
You read everything you can, you get really excited and scared about it, and then you find out it's not a big deal. So there are some places that have lists of things that you can do to prepare, but basically you just want to make sure that you have a rope that you can tie off on the bollard when you get into the lock. You want to have some gloves on people so they can push against it if they need to. Everybody needs to be wearing their life jacket.
Because the wall is icky and yuck.
It's wet from the water going up and down, but you need to know the different signals for coming into a lock and when you're able to go out of the lock.
Do you know what those signals are?
Yeah. There is a traffic light actually at the beginning of each lock. Green means you can enter, amber means it's being prepared, red means to stop, the doors are shut and locked. And then they'll have a long horn blast, right?
Yes, one long horn blast means
says, come on in.
Ready to come in.
Yeah.
But we do contact them before.
We do. We call them. We usually call them on the phone a couple miles down the river and say, hey, we're on this type of boat going this speed. We should be there about this time. It gives them a heads up, and a lot of times they'll tell us, you know, if you can hurry up, I can get you in now, or it's going to be an hour wait or 2 hour wait, and then we just kind of take our time getting there.
So as we get near or to the lock, if the door's shut, then we have to hang around and wait for the door open.
And we also call them on the VHF radio, let them know once we're there, especially.
So then when it's time for us to go into the lock, what happens when we get into the lock?
Your fender's up to your either side, your port or your starboard side. But sometimes if there's a lot of boats, they'll, you know, the first ones in will go to the right or the starboard side, and then the ones that follow will go to the port side, or you can go to whichever side you want. But they'll kind of tell you that, you know, there's one of the bollards, which is a large metal thing that you tie off on that goes up and down with the lock.
And they're numbered, so sometimes he'll say, hey, take, you know, port bollard 3 or whatever.
Or he'll tell you the number 1 bollard's not working, so you can avoid that one, or number 2 whatever. Very seldom do we go in where there's a lot of boats. We usually have a good choice. There was one time we went in where there was 7 boats, I think. And we just got, we were set up for the port side, so there was no problem. Seems everybody wants to go in on that starboard side, so we chose the opposite side and never had to wait.
So once you get in there and you're all tied up, and then you contact the lockmaster and say,
yep, tell them you're ready, that we're tied off and ready to go. And after each boat has done that, they'll sound a signal and close the doors, and then the water either starts coming in or going out, depending on whether you're going up or going down. And then you basically just got to ride and just it makes noise. They're old doors, and of course they're pressurized, so it'll if the water is going out, every once in a while it hits a certain level and makes a loud noise. The bollards sometimes make noises. It sounds like whales.
Which means your boat can kind of shift some, so that's why you have gloves on, or you have a staff to kind of push against the wall to keep your boat from knocking against the wall.
We would tie a rope up in the center of the boat around the bollard, then have someone stand at the front and back of the boat to kind of push off the walls and keep it centered.
So the interesting thing, though, is when we were inside the lock, we were surprised to watch the birds.
Yeah.
And what did the birds do?
Yeah, the birds would line up on the lock gate because they knew as it dropped, fish would get caught up there in the gate, and they would just easy pickings. I think every one we went through had a bird of some kind.
Of some kind.
There was herons and ravens and egrets and different birds that would show up. So it was kind of funny. We always looked for what our bird was for that lock.
Right. So then you're either going up or down to the level you need to be at, and then what happens? How do you know you're done?
The other boats start leaving? No, they blow a signal.
right?
Yeah.
They have a horn, but the gate opens.
The gate opens. Yeah, you can't leave. Some of the boats will leave. I mean, they see an open space and they take off. But you're not supposed to leave until they actually signal you with a horn blast that you can leave. And then you got plenty of time. I don't know why everybody's in a rush because we're the slow boat. They got to wait on us to get there anyway. Yep.
So then
So the big message is locks are not as scary as you think they might be. Everybody talks about it and they seem fearful about it and a lot of information online, but really the lock masters were phenomenal. We told them it was our first time. They walked us through what we needed to do. Very friendly, yeah. And were very encouraging to the kids and to us, and it was a good experience. Good experience.
And Isaac and I were saying when you're cold you have goosebumps, yes? Yes, and those are the geese trying to get out for the winter because they're cold and they want to go south. Well, these heat rash bumps are because now I'm warm. I'm in the south. They've arrived, so now they want to come out of me and spread their wings. So I have lots of millions of tiny little geese just fighting to get out.
got it.
Isaac, add something.
No.
I made a minute.
That's good.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah.
myself.
Why is it?
This is a fulfillment of every childhood fantasy I have had since I was 12.
Like what?
I'm on an island.
Yeah.
I get to make something, but I can only use what I have with me.
So what are you making?
Well, I'm making a fire pit, which is kind of like a rocket stove, but not really because I don't have things solid enough. But yeah, we'll see.